Hi. So some of you are following along in the chapter book, The Tiger Rising, that I'm reading, but some of you might like a picture book now and then too. So I'm going to read you a story, but before I do, I want to show you a picture of my family. Let's see if you can see it. Let me see. It's a little bit hard to see with the glass, maybe shining, but that's my family. That picture was taken at my wedding, and you all know Chuck. And it's got pictures of my parents and Chuck's parents and all of our kids and my sister and my niece and nephew. And I am really missing seeing them right now. And I think probably some of you might be missing your families, your relatives right now too, because we can't go out and see everyone the way we'd like to, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that I'm missing my relatives too and my family, and I'm going to read you a story called The Relatives Came, and it's by Cynthia Rylant. And it's a funny story with great pictures about having a house full of family, having a house full of relatives. And so let's just read it. And I'll try to show you the pictures, okay? But if I can't show you every picture, make a picture in your head. Okay. The relatives came. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came up from Virginia. They left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car, and they put an ice chest full of soda pop and some boxes of crackers and some bologna sandwiches, and up they came from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning when it was still dark, before even the birds were awake. They drove all day long and into the night, and while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes back home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us, too, waiting for them. So they drank up all their pop and ate up all their crackers and traveled up all those miles until finally they pulled into our yard. Then it was hugging time. Talk about hugging. Those relatives just passed us all around their car, pulling us against their wrinkled Virginia clothes, crying sometimes. They hugged us for hours. Then it was into the house, and so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. Those relatives. And finally, after a big supper 2 or 3 times around until we all got a turn at the table, there was quiet talk, and we were in 2s and 3s through the house. The relatives weren't particular about beds, which was good, since there weren't many extras. So a few squeezed in with us, and the rest slept on the floor, some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with an arm across one person and a leg across another. It was different going to sleep with all that new breathing in the house. The relatives stayed home for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden, and they fixed any broken things they could find. They ate up all our strawberries and melons, then promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. But none of us thought about Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded up their ice chest and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back into our beds that felt too big and too quiet, and we fell asleep. And the relatives drove on all day long and into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their dark purple grapes waiting at home in Virginia. But they thought about us, too, missing them, and they missed us. And when they were finally home in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds and dreamed about next summer. And that's the end. And I'm wondering if some of you are missing your relatives, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents. And I wonder if you might want to draw a picture of your family all together, like you were at a barbecue or a picnic or any kind of gathering that your family likes to do during normal times. So draw that picture. Draw a picture of your whole family together having fun together, and take a picture of that picture and send it to me in an email. I'd really love to see it. Okay? There'll be more stories coming. I hope you all have a good day. I'm thinking about you. Bye.